Hello and welcome to this Let's Play of Jagged Alliance 2, the 1.13 version that's modified for those of you who haven't played the game. I recommend you go through vanilla first before attempting to modify things because 1.13 really changes quite a few things up, which I'll explain as we go through. But in brief, the game sees you leading a squad of mercenaries and an army of militia, and eventually into overthrowing an evil third world dictatorship. So let's get started. Difficulty level I'm going to stick with experience, as I'm not amazing at this game, but I find experienced is nicely balanced. It tends to work. Bobby Ray's selection I'm actually going to put to excellent. For those who don't know, Bobby Ray's is your main supplier of all kinds of equipment in the game, from medkits to ammunition to mortar shells and so on. And the trouble is, at normal selection, he tends to have a rather limited stock of common items, like, for instance, assault rifle magazines. He'll only be selling 3 of them, when you've got 10 mercs to equip with 3 each. So I set it at excellent to make sure he has enough stuff to give us. Conversely, it also opens up better guns earlier, which I'll try and avoid exploiting, but I can't turn down an outdated machine gun or sniper rifle early in the game if we can afford it, because those things are really useful. That said, weapons wise, I'm going to try and stick to Warsaw Pact stuff, in keeping with the game's aesthetic of quasi-communist rebellion. I'm also going to probably dabble into pre-1945 stuff from any nation, and maybe Finnish technology as a way of giving ourselves a slight edge, especially sniper-wise. But generally we'll be sticking to the Russian guns, and there's no major issue with that. They're good guns, they work well. But yeah, what we find on the ground we'll keep as well, so if we should stumble upon M4s and M16s, we're going to use them. But I'll change them out as soon as is practical. Game style, meanwhile, we're going to play realistic. Sci-fi, all it changes is it adds an alien queen of bugs kind of thing into one of the mines, and that really doesn't make sense, so I'd rather not play with that on. As for guns, I'm going to go with tons of guns, because more guns are more fun. Meanwhile, with the extra difficulty, saving any time versus Iron Man, I made sure to play my first game on Iron Man, because it really does teach you how to strategize and keep your team alive if you're forced to reload the map if someone dies, whereas with save any time, you can quick save at any point during combat and the like. But I'm going to keep save any time on, because I intend to play through kind of Bronze Man. My basic rules for reloading a save is, if things go disastrously, irrecoverably wrong, then I will reload an earlier save, because I do want to complete the game. And if I think things have gone unfairly wrong, I will also reload. By unfairly wrong, there is one bug I've encountered, for example, when using burst fire, where the mercenary using it points himself off at a 90-degree angle to the target and just wastes the entire salvo. So yeah, it's situations like that I reserve the right to reload in. So I'm going to try and save every turn, but hopefully we won't see too many reloads in this game. Deaths will be meaningful, but I'll try to avoid them as far as my competence allows me to. And we're sticking with the new inventory system. So yeah, that's more advanced, it's more fun, a lot more options. I should probably add before starting as well that this is going to be very much a when I feel like it upload. There's no schedule to this. It's very much based on feedback and when I get some time to play. Speaking of feedback, you can have up to 6 custom characters in the game, and I intend to utilise that to give you guys a chance to submit your own ideas. Just, 50-word concept, along with what you want them to be good at, and I'll see about getting them into the game, picking randomly, of course. But that's going to be some time in. I'm not going to do that initially because it does tend to unbalance the game to have exactly the mercenaries you want without having to pay regular salaries. But anyway, enough gabbering on, let's watch the intro.
Approaching waypoint Charlie. Left column, please advise. Left column, please advise. Make it column. Fire station Tango, on coordinates. Fire station Tango, fire when ready. Company.
I was happy to hear you have decided to take the assignment. No doubt your inquiries have shown that I, Enrico Chivaldori, speak the truth. In the past 10 years, since killing my father and framing me, my wife has inflicted great suffering upon my people. Those that may be of value to her are imprisoned, beaten, and tortured. The old, the sick, even infants with birth defects are removed swiftly from the population. Now it is time to remove her. I have brought the money you requested. It is everything I have. However, Arulco is full of gold and silver, and you might be able to convince the miners to help us in the struggle. There also exists a small but determined rebel movement. They are led by a man named Miguel Cordona. If you can locate Miguel, I have written a letter for you to give him. I believe he will accept you and prove to be an invaluable ally. I wish you luck, my friend.
Okay, nasty stuff, but we've got a job to do now. In fact, we've got email from PsychPro Incorporated. All this stuff is, setting up the meeting you just saw in the cutscene. RIS report that's got put into our recon files here. It's all about the island. There's nothing really of significance that we haven't been told already. There's a few nice little flavour bits, like the fact there's a minimal air force and they've got 2 infantry divisions, so about 20,000 men under arms. But let's read this email. We know what you're thinking. And this is a service which lets you create your custom mercenaries, which I talked about. So now we can go online, go to IMP, and put in our activation code, and we can begin creating. So who is going to be our initial mercenary? Well, it's going to have to be someone who is a competent leader with a decent variety of skills and the ability to maintain a field command. So I decided, based on the fact that I don't think any of the mercenaries in game, you'll see there's plenty of mercenaries. We can hire AIM here as well as another recruitment centre later. They come from all across the world and they represent a whole kind of cornucopia of cultural backgrounds and such. I didn't notice an Arabic or Iranian character, so I thought I'd start with that. We're going to be Share Safavi. Woman as well. 2 reasons for that. Again, underrepresented, and 2 is that we can only have 3 male and 3 female characters, custom characters. And I'm guessing there's going to be more male submissions for custom characters. So I'm freeing up I'm not taking up a slot that you guys might want to take when you submit your ideas. Nickname is going to be Gremlin. We're going to be good at sabotage, but not typical sort of sabotage, that would do.
They're here! We've got trouble!
Voice 2 is fine. Unfortunately, the custom voices really don't... they're not as good as the ones on the NPC mercs, which is a shame. So, black hair, fairly dark skin. We want a shirt that stands out decently so we can pick her out from the crowd. To that end, I think we're going to go red and green. Nice rebel colours. And so we can have some character traits here, given that she's the leader, and yeah, we want to avoid giving her anything that would really come into conflict with the others, so let's just go normal. Unexciting, but I'm sure some submissions will be slightly more psychotic, as one of the options is here. That ends psychotic. The effect is to make the merc sometimes do burst fire when you order single fire, but at increased accuracy. So it's a drawback in terms of ammo wastage, but at the same time it can be helpful. But I think we're going to go with heat intolerant. No. Fear of insects means that she'll lose morale in swamps, but we won't be spending too much time in swamps. Now, skills. We can have up to 2 skills. We can have 1 or we can have none. The advantage of having no skills here is we get more attribute points to spend. The advantage of having just 1 is, I think, more attribute points, and also that you become an expert at that particular thing. Advantage of having 2 is quite obvious. I think we're going to be just an electronics expert. Electronics tends to be a hard skill to come by in mercs. If you want to turn down a couple of certain people, yeah, it's just good to have someone start with that, because you don't have to worry about ever not having someone who's capable of dealing with that kind of thing. So we got 95 bonus points to spend. These are pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to put wisdom up to 85. The reason being is that wisdom impacts on how fast your character learns, how quickly they level, and that can only be a good thing. Meanwhile, we're going to put health down a little. Not incredibly. She is a squishy target after all. I'm going to put dexterity up to 70, which should help her avoid some shots. Agility is going to be 80. That gives her more action points. Strength, meanwhile, I'm going to leave unadjusted for now. Meanwhile, I'm going to put medical down to 35. Don't want to take it down to 0, because it removes your ability to use medkits and the like on party members in the middle of battle. So, yeah, it's good that everyone has a little of that, just so they're able to perform first aid and stop someone bleeding to death. Leadership, meanwhile, is going to be good, but not extraordinary. 70. I like to have a competent leader in the squad, even though it's abstracted. Marksmanship, on the other hand, is going to be decent but unremarkable again. Explosives is something she has experience with, but nothing special. Her talent is mostly mechanical. I think we'll take... actually want to leave strength up so she can carry toolkits around. Because, yeah, toolkits are heavy. But yeah, I think those are good starting stats. In terms of having someone who's good with machines, decent with explosives, and can handle themselves in a fight, pretty much. So we're finished there. Yes, I do. $3,000. New mail. It's from, close you down. Where's our email gone? There we go. Yeah, it's from Imp Analysis. It just tells you everything you already know, so no real need to read through. It was there from when the Imp used to be a questionnaire you could do, and the results were determined by your answers rather than you actually outright stating exactly what you wanted. But where we want to go to aim, because we can't liberate Arulco alone. So we go to members, Mercenary Mugshot Index. They're ordered by price, and so these are all the guys available to us. And the ones on assignments we can't take out, but we can contact and leave a message. So, seeing as we have an electronics expert, someone who's good with mechanics and explosives, we're going to need soldiers, a doctor, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't need anything extraordinary right now. So I'm going to go with Igor first here. He's very competent for his price. $5,500 for 2 weeks, and good wisdom, decent marksmanship, and good physical abilities. So let's contact him.
This is Igor Dolvich. What kind of contract do you require?
And 2 weeks because it's value for money.
I heartily endorse this contract.
Okay, we got one of the Russian stereotypes on board. Who else shall we take? I don't know about you, but I also like to take Grunty. He gets on with Igor, which adds to their morale and causes a little banter in battle sometimes.
Yeah, das ist Grunty.
Plus he's skilled in night operations.
How long do you wish to engage my services? Super!
Right. Night operations are important because they add to your visual, your seeing distance at night, which can give you a real edge, because even with top-of-the-line goggles, if you have them on both people, the guy with night operations has an advantage that can't be replicated by the AI. So yeah, that is a serious advantage to have someone like that on your team when you're infiltrating at night. And we tend to fight at night because it minimises the number of enemies that can engage you at once. Now we got 2 team members added to our squad. We probably want a third one. We're going to half pick up a medic. There's a couple of guys I'm looking at right now to hire, and that's either Barry or MD. MD's got high wisdom, Barry's got high wisdom. MD's good with medicine, Barry's good with lockpicking and such. And the thing is, we get a half-decent medic quite soon after starting, so I'm thinking maybe of holding off on MD over Barry. But let's just review their prices. We pay 5,500 Barry, and 5,000 plus 1,100 medical deposits, and there's optional gear to take into account. So, what I'm going to do, I think, is hire Barry.
Hello, Barry Younger. What can be done for you? How long you want me to work? We have reached simultaneous agreement. Count me as part of your team.
Excellent. And also, go to MD.
Michael Dawson, MD.
We
How
can't,
long a contract is this going to be?
we can't quite afford him for 2 weeks, but we could get him for with no equipment, or for 1 week. I'm going to go with the 1 week option.
I know I'm a little green as far as field work, but just put a scalpel in my hand and watch my smoke. You got it. I'll be there with bells on.
Okay, we got our initial team. Shut down.
That chopper pilot's a madman. He made me nauseous. Oh well. It's off to find Miguel.
that's the entire team.
The enemy is present in the area.
Yeah,
So, stealth mode engaged.
understood.
Yes? Okay. Okay.
Yes?
We're gonna fan out
Sure.
and look for them.
Yes, I'm hearing weird
Yes?
noises, yeah.
We've got trouble.
So we got our first opponents
He's
to engage.
terrible.
And Barry, here, standing in front of the corner, gets an interrupt turn, which means he gets to shoot freely as the enemy runs around the corner. And for 27 action points, we have a nice 99% chance of hitting this guy in the head, so we're going to take it.
Groovy.
Which kills him.
Enemy in view.
Yes?
Right, so
Yes?
Gremlin here has an HK MP5A4 submachine gun. Now that blooping sound and red and black flashing means that she's out of range, effective range of the weapon. However, since it's an automatic, it's also good for suppressing enemies even though it can't hit them.
Yes?
Ah,
Now, our primary concern should be maneuvering into position in order to take this guy down. We also have the enemy up here to watch out for.
Yes?
So let's turn around to see him. Okay, he's not there. Suspicious. She's slowed down by the fact she has a backpack, so let's take that off. And have her run into cover.
Okay.
She won't be able to fire this turn,
Yes?
but Barry should be able to cover this flank quite effectively.
yeah.
Or Grunty can take a quick peek to see there's no enemy in danger of actually reaching us this turn. He's going to turn back and turn this way. Meanwhile, you two... We could run over here, but that leaves Igor vulnerable. MD can't cover without exposing himself, you see. Unless...
Yes?
We put MD here, make him crouch. Now, the home key, the end key, will tell us where he can fire. Okay. So MD can now fire along here, and he's safe at the moment from enemy attacks. So that means, Igor, you get to run around here.
Yes.
And turn to face this way.
Yeah.
Grunty, meanwhile, is going to keep covering.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes?
So this guy sounds like he's either moved or he's crouched down. And we have unaccounted for up here as well. So MD's going to pop out and have a quick peek about what's going on.
Too bad.
Okay, it seems our friend is still here, but out of range. So what we're going to do is take a shot. See if we can get one close to him at least. Excellent. Now MD can crouch down. And seeing as he just got wounded, it's unlikely he'll be able to respond to Igor. No. And headshot?
The enemy is cold.
There we go. So we dealt with this guy.
Ah. We failed to locate all of them. I would not go crazy. Ah.
Okay. That slowing down meant that someone saw us, but then ran around a corner.
Yes?
So we got to be on the lookout. MD can keep watching this way. Well, Igor goes over here
Yes.
and turns around. Now, my guess is he's somewhere over here because that's where we saw him last.
Yes?
Yeah.
But Grunty can always check around this corner, seeing as MD's covering this flank for now.
Yes?
Gremlin, meanwhile, can climb onto the roof, which will give her a better view And she's gonna duck down for now, just so no one can shoot her, because she doesn't have enough action points to fire back at the moment. Barry's gonna hold his position, because if he goes out there, he'll be exposed from one of two flanks.
What was that?
Exactly.
Trouble is here. Yes?
So we're gonna hit him in the torso once. Ah, he's wearing body armor, it seems. Hit him in the head. That did it.
Groovy.
And
Yes?
in turn.
There's at least one of them that isn't accounted for. Could be waiting for the right moment to surprise us.
Okay, indeed.
What was that?
And one more for
Trouble
Barry.
is here. Yes?
What
Yes?
do you know? They're all dead.
That is it. There is no more enemy.
Yes?
Well done, Barry. Sometimes that does happen, they all come along the same flank. And by pressing this button, backpack is magically back on our back. One of the features of 1.13.
Yes? Good idea.
Always remember to take off your backpack before going into battle. Unless you're a heavy duty field medic or something, because otherwise your running speed is about half, which can make it very hard to get around. So let's talk to this small child.
Mommy said never talk to strangers.
We should probably be friendly to him. And he runs off.
Done. Done.
And there's a random woman here.
Why are you here?
Let's be direct.
How could it be that you were sent by Enrico? He has been dead for more than 10 years.
So we have to give her proof that we were sent, and that's in this letter.
A letter from Enrico Civaldori. He has not forgotten us. Very few people are aware that he's alive. As far as most of the people in Aruco are concerned, he was murdered over a decade ago. We had given up hope of ever hearing from Enrico again. Who would believe that someone living in the comforts of exile would care about this dismal country? Very well then. Follow me. Do not make any quick moves. Miguel's men will be nervous. You do not wish to intimidate them. The Drana has brutally bombed and attacked us for over 2 straight months.
Yes?
Okay, now we just gotta follow her. But first, we can quickly check the inventory of this sector. And we can find out they have 9 times 19mm magazines and .38 rounds as well. So MD can use a .38. He can carry only so many, but he's got enough space for now. They use 8 rounds though. They don't fit Barry's gun as such, it seems. They're 9 times 18mm. So he can't use them. Meanwhile, Igor's gun is 9 times 19. Now what you can do here is unload the gun, pop in an 8 and another, then unload it, you get a new magazine. And fully loaded gun, more ammo. Trying to reload with the wrong magazine type in battle takes twice as long as using the right type. First email from Enrico. Remember to seek out Miguel. Yeah, we're doing that.
Yes?
So she likes to take her time just wandering over to the rebel base, which is in the next area.
Yes? Yes?
Have we left someone behind? Yes. Poor Igor has been stuck in this toilet.
Yes?
Okay.
Yes?
She should be able to leave the sector soon. Or mercs, yes. Only takes 5 minutes because we're in a city.
Yes?
Going from city to country usually takes about 2 hours. As we can see, there's barricades here. And barricades around this house in particular. We'll get there eventually. And just through this copse of trees, should come upon Dmitri.
Why have you brought them here? Have you lost your mind, woman? You bring death to all of us.
They have been sent by Enrico Civaldori. They're here to help us, Dmitri. They must speak with Miguel. I would never bring them here without proof of this.
In respect of your husband, I take your word. We will go down. But if you make mistake, Fatima, you will die with them.
Hopefully, she hasn't made a mistake.
Do not move, and no one will die. Fatima say they are here to help us. She say she have proof, Carlos.
Enrico has enlisted mercenaries to aid us in the struggle. I have a letter addressed to Miguel. It is signed by Enrico himself and contains details of the night we helped him flee Aruco. Details only he would know.
Enrico? Salvatore? Most suspicious. I question his reasons.
I do not. Let me see this letter.
Here.
It be true. Enrico has sent men to help us. On behalf of my rebel force and the people of Arulco, I welcome you. We are very much in need of your aid. Diana wishes to remove Omerta from the map of this country.
She is evil, a driven bitch.
That will do, Ira. I am sure our friends have heard of her nature. If not, they will know soon enough.
We're pleased to come to your aid, Miguel. The situation certainly requires our intensive care.
I have lost over 30 men in the last month. My force is down to the people you see here. But I do have a few trusted people living in the Arulco countryside. The people of Arulco would overthrow Diana with pleasure, but they live in fear of her, and rightfully so. She be heartless and brutal. She has robbed our country of its money and its soul. Getting their confidence be our biggest problem. The people must feel we are capable of defeating her. Yet, without their support, we cannot. We are missing soldiers and equipment. You could not have come at a better time.
We are short of food too, Miguel. We need safe passage to Drazen, or more people will die.
Yes. Carlos be my close advisor. He is right. He usually be right. Making a safe route to Drazen to get supplies be a priority. If you can remove Diana's forces from your path, there is a priest in Drazen named Father Walker. He be a drunk of poor judgment. However, he will be sympathetic to our situation. Find him, and tell him no more than you need to. I will send others to fetch the supplies he will gather. I wish you luck, and express my gratitude.
Okay, let's try and recruit Miguel.
It does not seem right at this moment. I can spare Ira. She is quick learner and knows the priest well. I believe he might even have some passion for her.
Let's talk to Ira.
I'm Ira. I came to Arulco 5 years ago as part of an effort to supply humanitarian aid. I soon realized the only aid they needed was in getting rid of Diana, by whichever means possible. Miguel's rebel force has been together for almost 2 decades. They are trustworthy and loyal. They will accept you as one of their own as long as you do no harm. All right. I could be of help with some of the ins and outs of this country and its people. But I must tell you, I'm not a professional like you guys. I'm afraid my marksmanship is a little weak for a soldier. Miguel used me mostly as a medic and a lookout. Anyways, I'm sure we'll make out okay. Let's get going. I'll lead the way.
And get going we should. From here there are really 3 places we can go, realistically. Drasen, San Mona and Chitzina. Advantages of going to Drasen is we get control of an airport if we're able to fight the forces that guard it, and also a mine, which means a steady supply of income and also a place to import supplies. Drasen is perhaps the most important city to capture in the rebellion. However, as soon as we've secured all 3 tiles, then Didrana launches a massive counterattack, composed of half elite troops and half regulars. It isn't trivial to deal with at this stage in the game, so if we go there, we really will have to use a bit of cheese to win. We might even have to give up ground, you know, take it temporarily and come back. Trouble is, the mine won't really be operating by the time, any time before her forces arrive, so yeah. There's a lot to gain there, but also it's hard to see how we're going to hold it. San Mona, meanwhile, has some job opportunities. There's money to be made there, as well as an arms dealer. Not as good as Bobby Ray's by any means, but definitely better than picking up what we find on the ground. Trouble is, there's no real strategic gain to be made in San Mona. We can get some money and supplies, but beyond that, there's no steady stream of income or militia that can be created there. Chitzina, meanwhile, is probably the easiest city to secure, and means access to a small mine, not as much income as Drasen by a long shot, but it will be a small victory, and some place to train militia, and, you know, a decent stream of income. Probably not quite enough to pay for our guys and more supplies, but it will keep us going. And that's the choice I'm going to leave up to you guys for now. Do we head to Drasen, take a huge risk, and try and take the mine? The caveat, of course, being we probably won't be able to hold it. Do we go to San Mona to make some cash and improve our weaponry? Caveat being that it won't mean anything in the short term. Or do we go Chitzina for a relatively easy victory? The caveat being, of course, that it's strategically out of the way and we still can't get any new supplies from it. That's the question I'll leave for you. Please leave your comments and criticisms below. Thanks for watching so far, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. For now, have a cutscene.
This better be good. Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness, but one of our North patrols has been attacked.
Elliot, you idiot! We crushed those rebels in Omerta! How can it be?
From what we have learned, Your Majesty, the rebels seem to have some sort of foreign aid, commando types. We speculate they arrived on the helicopter that was spotted earlier.
Commando types? What sort of commando types? From where?
They may be hired mercenaries, Your Highness. There weren't many.
What? How would the rebels get the means to recruit mercenaries? Well, no matter. Send me their bodies for examination.
The rebel party seems to have used the element of surprise to their advantage, my queen. They defeated us.
Send my troops to the location at once.
Yes, Your Highness.